Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to make your first million? And today we have Sébastien Night, which is the founder OneTake AI. So Sebastian, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make the first million?
I can tell you because I struggled for about 10 years and then it took 1 year to get my business to get to that million. And also, here's the 5 steps. First step is to embrace content marketing. I have tried everything under the sun to grow my different businesses. Ever since I had the Latin dance school, I was like passing out flyers in the street, getting fined by the police because you're not supposed to do that. I tried everything. And then when I started doing content marketing, meaning recording parts of the classes, just a little bit of content, not enough to replace my work, but enough to get people like an appetizer. That's how we grew the business. And today, what our AI tool does is work with people that do content marketing because we see how important that is. So that would be the first step, like giving these appetizers so people want to buy the whole meal from your business. Once you decide to do that, step 2 is, okay, let's say I want to do like a YouTube video a week or 1 Instagram video a day or something like that. You have to figure out like what to talk about. And so I would say step 2 is to listen to customers' problems, but don't ask about the product. So don't tell people, here's what we want to sell, or here's the new product we want to introduce. What do you think about it? Because people will tend to give you like a positive answer to anything, and it's not going to help you pinpoint what they really need. Exactly. And can I tell a horror story of something?
Tell me.
Okay.
Tell us.
So I've done webinars for 15 years now. My first webinar was in 2008, like sales webinars. Presentation, and then you pitch an offer at the end.
Yes.
When we launched OneTake AI, I had my own idea of how to talk about the product. And so I did this brand new webinar that had hundreds of people on. And in the chat, I could see people, like, as I was teaching, they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love it. Thanks for the content. Thanks for the ideas. And then I made the offer. And for the first time in my entire life, this is the first time our conversion rate was 0%. And then I was like, why? Like, everybody seems happy, but somehow nobody bought for the first time ever. And so what I did is I went back and reread all the comments, all the surveys that people answered. And then I think the best analogy to what happened is, imagine if you opened a restaurant and you want to open this organic, local food, vegan restaurant, and you deliver at home. And at the beginning, nobody buys from your restaurant. Like if you're from the French Caribbean, like I am, nobody in the French Caribbean wants to buy from a vegan restaurant. So you're going to fail. But what happens is, if people figure out that your restaurant is the only one in the area that will deliver at home,
absolutely,
they will buy because that's what they want. And you can still do like organic food if that's important to you, but they don't want the organic part of it. They want the delivered at home.
Absolutely.
And it was the same for us with OneTake. Like I was focusing too much on the how the AI edits your video for you, like the specific style that it gives you. And it turns out that what people wanted is the tool that, like, with 1 click, it does it all for you.
All the video for them. Yeah.
Exactly. And you don't have to go into the weeds. And so I changed the message. And the next week I did like another webinar.
It was amazing.
And that crushed it. Like the was day and night. So yeah, listen to customers, but don't like have your preconceived ideas of how to talk about the product. Would be number 2. Number 3 is make an irresistible offer to potential buyers. And I coach businesses for a long time in many fields, and I think this is like the biggest problem for people is you have something that's worth, let's say, $1,000, and you try to sell it for $1,000. And people look at it and they're like, well, you have like 10 $100 bills and you want my like credit card for 1,000. It is extra effort for no additional value. So it's hard to sell it. And so the way you want to build things is you want to bring maybe $4,000 to $8,000 worth of value of transformation, how much money they will save, how much money they will earn, like what emotional transformation they will go through. Or so you want to bring that amount of value, and then you can charge your $1,000. Sometimes you can even charge now $2,000, because from their perspective, you're bringing so much more value than the price you are charging. And for a lot of businesses, and I know that I see in your background, you have many like authors and business owners that use your services. And it's also true for speakers, right? For a lot of businesses, when they think about offering more value, they think, oh my God, does it mean I'm going to have to ship more products, like sell 10 books instead of one, sell more hours of my time? Like if I was selling like 1 month of coaching for 1,000, and Sebastian is saying you need $8,000 of value, am I going to have to sell 8 months of coaching for 1,000? That would be like awful. So the trick there is you can use content. So pre-record yourself, gather some of your best interviews or podcasts, and create something that does not require more of your time, is free for you to deliver, and has high value for the customer. And this way you can have like more value without increasing your own cost. So that's an important part. Like most people that use our tool, for instance, we see that they kind of do half and half. Half of their videos are like content videos for free on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. And half of the videos they generate with our AI are value-adding videos. You find an expert, you interview them, and then you have the AI edit the recording. And now it is no longer a conversation, it becomes a masterclass. One of my mentors, Jay Abraham, best-selling author of How to Get Everything You Can Out of All You've Got. I once did an interview with him, and I put it through the software. And when he got the presentation as a result, he said, I'm not going to put that on YouTube. Here's what I'm going to say. He emailed his list and said, I just recorded a 1-hour masterclass with Sébastien Night. You can watch it for $60. And so he made thousands of dollars of sales like instantly from our conversation. So that's number 3, make an irresistible offer. Number 4 is you have to bring something new, like be interesting, bring something new to the table. And here I'm going to say something because I see in the AI world, many people commit the same mistakes. I think many people that will listen to you are familiar with tools like ChatGPT or the other like chat-based AI. And the reason why it's hard to get success with those tools is that when you ask them to write you an email or give you an idea for a product, basically what you're getting is the most likely answer to this question. So you're getting an answer that's like the average of the internet. So it's going to be very basic. And when we were building our AI assistant, what we realized is none of those tools, not even ours, is very creative when you ask for one thing. However, you can force it to be super smart and creative if you ask it for 11 ideas or 15 emails or 9 marketing strategies. Because like the first 3, 4, 5 will be the obvious stuff that everybody thought about. And then it's going to be like, okay, I need to find other options. And that's where you get the more like off-the-wall ideas, things that are more interesting and will be better for marketing. So we do that a lot. If you use AI for marketing, you don't say, write me an email. I would say, give me 11 email titles ideas to catch the attention of this kind of prospect. And out of the 11, I'll pick one and I'll say, now write me an email that's based on this title or headline. So that's number 4. So embrace content marketing, listen to customers, don't ask about the product, make an irresistible offer to buyers. Number 4 is bring something new to the table. And number 5, because Harry, your question is very specific, making your first million. And to me, making your first million is something, it took me from starting my first business in 2007 until 2017 in total, I had grossed 7 million euros. So that was about $10 million at the time. And out of this, how much money did I have left from like have all of this money coming through my hand? 0. Like the money came in and I would not be able to tell you like where it went.
Your team, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay everything.
Yeah, you pay the team. You have some crazy ideas. I rented the Eiffel Tower twice to run events there. That will suck out a lot of your money. And but in 2017, I got like this simple switch in mindset, which is as an entrepreneur or business owner, in any field, whether you're selling like physical products or you're a speaker or a coach, what you're doing by running your business is you want freedom. And to get this freedom, one of the best ways is to use your business as a way to build your personal wealth, not just a way to have your own job and be your own boss.
Absolutely.
If
100%.
if you are your own boss, then it means you're also your own employee. Most of us, we are like better bosses than employees. So we are maybe the best boss, but the worst employee. So you don't know. So I would say number 5 is to be very mindful of having at least part of the money start to build your future. And I mean, taking it off the table from the business, investing it, using it to create your own wealth. And that's actually what helped me when I was running this speaking and coaching business. That's what helped me have the $1 million I needed to start OneTake AI, which took me to that next level.
Wow.
So that would be step 5 for me.
That's fantastic, Sebastian. And I think your story is amazing. Yeah. And we're gonna dig in few of these steps that you cover, because again, sometimes you become a serial entrepreneur, yeah, and you start to have this business, another business, and sometimes the business can kill you. I started my first business was a property business. We managed to sell over 5 million, but there were so many clients, and they all want to speak with Harry. They're all saying to my money, I want to speak with Harry. Everybody want to speak with me every day. And I'm like, if all these people speak with me, they will kill me. I cannot sleep. There's too many. When am I gonna sleep? I was telling my people if they don't want to speak with me. So the whole point is that in that journey as entrepreneur, right? Sometimes, and I'll tell you from my own story, right? Like I had that dream, I want to have a restaurant. Well, I opened a restaurant and I have this crazy idea. The only halal Spanish tapas in Brick Lane, which is the Corey Street from London. And the idea was amazing. Everybody clapped. Everybody was so happy. But you know what? When I opened the door, I spent all the money, all the money making. I want to do a guitar in the ceiling. And my bidder told me at the time, Harry, you sure we need to close this place for 2 months if you want that guitar. Are you sure you want this guitar in the city? I'm like, yes, this restaurant's gonna be the best of the world, and it's gonna have a guitar in the city. Well, guess what? All the money went into the guitar. When I opened the door, nobody came in. 2 years down the line, lost 200,000. Now the restaurant is Chinese, and the restaurant, my guitar is still there on the ceiling. The Chinese that restaurant look at the guitar and say, "What the heck, leave it." You know what I mean? So the whole point is, so tell me about I also have a music band. We have a project, Buena Vista London Club, when we play salsa music. And
okay, I used to be a
that's
salsa.
fun in London. A lot of people come and dance and to see our band. Yeah. So tell me about that first business that you have, the dance school. Yeah.
Uh,
And but also deeper in something that you touched that is really, really important. People think, or the idea that we have before about business is, okay, we develop a product and we sell it, and then we find people how to sell it. And I think the way that we do business today is completely different. It's exactly how you describe. You start to create content, you build that community, and then you offer a product and service that that community want. And you have to be so clever to find out what the community want, right? Which is completely different ball game. How we started the business. We started the business, say, okay, this is a product, I'm selling dance lessons. Who wants to buy? Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your beginnings, about your
beginning,
first business in the dance school. What
I,
was dancing? Salsa?
it was salsa, but
Really? I dance salsa. When you come to London, I show you around. We're gonna have a
you,
blast.
you've got a deal. You've got a deal. I
So you
actually
have a salsa
started my
school
first business against my own wishes.
against your own wish? How come? Tell
Yes.
me. I want to know.
Because
Your
so
girlfriend.
in France, we have this system. It's different from the US system of the college. In France, we have the grandes écoles, which is like the most prestigious kind of schools. And I attended one of those because I wanted to become an engineer and I wanted to work with computers.
Mhm.
And I knew, so like when I was still in high school, I knew which company I wanted to work
Wow.
in, which job, and which pay I wanted.
Wow. You have very clear everything.
I was very clear. I went through the whole 5 years after high school, like to study to get that. And when I left École Centrale, I got the job I wanted in the
Wow.
company I wanted at the amount I wanted.
Really?
And so I should have been like super happy. But what happened is it took me less than 4 weeks to be absolutely miserable.
Oh, demotivate.
But yeah, because well, I had to wake up before the sun rose to go get there. It was like an hour distance to get there, and to spend the whole day under artificial light, and to come home late after the sunset, and like I was not seeing friends a lot, and also I always thought that like computers were made to connect people. And there in that job, I was working only with like total geeks, like even geeker than me, who thought that computers were fun because they're computers. So not like as fun. I would say, do you guys want to go out on the weekend? And they're like, no, let's just come back to the company on Sunday and have a LAN computer game party. And I was like, guys, that is not life. I got it. So what happened is I at the time I was maybe 20 years old. I called my parents
Wow,
and
oh my God.
I said I'm gonna quit
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
gonna start my
What your
own
parent
business.
told you? You crazy?
Well, first of all, I was in the phone with my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna quit. And then I'm like, Mom? Oh, Dad. Yeah, Dad. So she asked me about
Your mom passed you there and said, listen, Sebastian drinking too much.
and
Oh my
then
God.
it was tough because I was the first person. So I have a large family. I was the first person to go into one of those prestigious schools. And so everybody had like the hope I would get this really good position, great salary. And I'm saying I'm going to quit and start a company. And then my
No.
parents asked, okay, so what company? And I'm like, I have no idea. Give me some time. And so we negotiated. And here's the deal we negotiated. The deal was I'm going to take 1 year. So from September 29th of 2006 to September 29th of 2007, I have 1 year to start a company,
Prove
make it
yourself.
profitable, and it has to pay me at least as much as my job as an engineer.
Otherwise, your dad said you had to come back as an. Oh my God.
So when you have like a deadline, it helps out, right? So for 9 months, I had no idea. I was just like sitting in the sofa, trying to think of ideas, completely terrified. And luckily, like the state of France, like pays for you to get some kind of coaching if you want to start a business. And the guy I saw, the consultant, he just sat me down and said, look, what do you know? Like, what do you do?
Let's stop for that.
And I said, well, I know how to do three things, and you're going to be surprised when I tell you the three. The first one is I had music websites where I used to put my own music, and then other musicians put their music on there. And I said, well, I could earn some money with ads. Right now, at the time, I was earning like $20 a month, but I said maybe I could earn more. I said I know a second thing. I know how to dance salsa. Maybe I could give classes. And then I said, I know a third thing, and that's the surprising one. I used to be a very shy person. And a couple of years before that, I decided I didn't want to be a shy person. So I had a blog where I was telling the stories of me going just to chat with people, meet people. My blog at the time was in the top 3 Google results
Wow.
for seduction, for the word seduction.
Oh, wow.
So what happened is every day I had guys commenting on my blog saying, dude, can I buy you coffee? And you tell me how to pick up this girl, or
To
how,
look
like,
good, to look
I'm mad
cool.
in love with this woman and I don't know how to ask her out. And so I said, well, I know how to do this. And here's the key advice I got, which I think anybody that wants to start a business and is a bit afraid should do. The consultant, Dennis, he told me, we're going to create he called it the Express business plan. And it's just the
An
simplest,
A4.
yeah, it's just the simplest page of paper. You just made like 12 columns, for one for each month of the year. One line per thing you know how to do. So I have 3 lines, right? Salsa, website, and dating advice. And then you put for each month how much money you intend to make from this activity for that month. But there's a trick to it. The total has to be equal to how much money you want to make. Because like our conversation is how do you make the first million, right? You're not going to get the first million if when you design the plan, it's not a plan that goes to 1 million.
Absolutely.
And so at the time,
you walk it backwards, right?
Yeah.
You decide what you want and then you make the plan for it. Yeah.
Exactly. And you start from that end. Otherwise, you will never get anywhere.
100%.
So I said I'm gonna make it was in euros at the time, so maybe it was almost double, I think, in US dollars at the time. But it was, I'm gonna make 1,000 a month doing salsa classes. I'm gonna make 1,000 a month giving dating advice. And I'm gonna turn my ads website from $20 a month to 1,000. So I only have to multiply it by 50. And I actually did make it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which 3 of them work?
So when I started the business, my parents forgave me because I was late, because the 29th of September was a Saturday and you cannot start a company on Saturday in France. So I had to start it on the 1st of October. And the very first month, I made 3,005 like total instead of the 3,000 of the goal. And I was like, I got this. So I was giving salsa classes. Yeah. And can I also share like a story of perseverance?
Of course, you're here to share. We are looking forward to hear your stories.
Okay, so the salsa thing, when I gave my first class, I only had one student.
Oh my God.
It was a guy. So it was just 2 guys. It was a bit awkward because I'm teaching and I almost quit right there. I almost didn't give the class. I was like, okay, well, he's there. He's gonna pay his I don't remember, like $5 or $10. Okay, all right. I'll give the class, but
that's it. I have to rethink this because I don't think I'm gonna do this.
I cannot make a living from giving a class to one per person, like at group.
And especially guy. And especially at least if it's a girl, but on top of that, a guy, too much for you.
It's not gonna work. And I went back to talk to the guy that taught me salsa dancing. His name is Isham. He's like well known in the west of France.
Wow.
Told him the story, and I say, I don't know if I'm cut for this. I only have one guy. Your classes are full all the time. My class has one guy. And he said, if you give great service to your one customer, then you'll get 2. And then from 2, you get more. But the key is you just have to persevere. and you just have to make sure that these people have a great time, and they'll come back, and more people will come.
Great advice, yeah.
And he was right. The second class, I had 2 people, and the second person was a girl. It was great.
Oh,
The next class, I
so the
had
guy
4.
was happy with your class, definitely.
And they were
The
happy.
first
They came
client,
back.
they were happy, yeah.
Next time, I had 4. And then
Wow,
within a year, I had 150 students by
really?
myself. Yes.
Wow, amazing, man. I had to recruit you to London, yeah. To play with so but this is the thing, right? And let's don't blame our parents. You know, my parents are teachers, okay? So my parents had the same thing. They told me I had to go to university, yeah, and I had to study hard, and this is how I'm gonna sort out my life. So I got a degree in chemical engineering. I went to university for 5 years. I got a degree. I showed to my mom, my dad. They're very happy. They were very happy, and that's it. I never worked as an engineer, never in my life, as a chemical engineer, right? It's a degree. I work as a software developer because back in the day there were no jobs for chemical engineering, but it was the .com, so they were looking for engineers to write software. So apparently, I was suitable for that. They said that it doesn't matter, you don't know how to write code. We can show you that. We just need your brain as an engineer. The rest, don't worry about it. So, in the end of the day, and I think my parents are teachers, right? So they don't have any. There is actually my grandfather was an entrepreneur, but they are no entrepreneurs, so they think and they advise you the best they can and study and go to university and you're gonna be fine. Well, I went to university, I studied a lot, and I was not fine. I had to find that job again, like writing software, and I think that sometimes we have this gene entrepreneur within us that when we have a chance, we break out and we said, that's it, I'm gonna run my own company and everything. And I got the same like you. When I talked to my mom and my dad that I'm gonna open the company, they were like, you crazy? My mom was, you open what? No, it's with the house. And can you make money of this? Well, still now, my mom is always asking me, are you you make money about this or about this? Can you really make money? You know, it's a little bit, for her, money means go and work and have a job. That's what money means for her, and everything. And for my parents, so anything outside that line is a little bit confused for them. They are always suspicious about what I'm doing and things like that. Anyway, so the whole point is that when we start our first business, right? I think is to have strong belief. I think that, so Sebastian, tell us, where do you work harder? In your own 3 businesses, because now you have 3 businesses that year, or in the software development? I mean, the Salsa, the whatever, they were more fun, right? But
Yeah, no, right now I'm only running the AI startup.
yeah, no, but I say back then.
Back then, okay. So back then I had the 3 businesses, right?
Yeah.
I did actually manage to multiply the income of the music website.
Wow.
Because when I got really serious about it, I decided every day I was running an experiment. I was using Google AdSense ads, and I would tweak the colors, do split tests, find new placements, use better SEO, and it grew. The website grew to like 500,000 visits a month, and it was bringing in 30K a year by itself. All connected to the ads. So that was good.
Makes sense. Very good.
The salsa, so another trick that I learned, and I got the idea from the founder of Skype. One of their founders, his principles, he calls it like the principle of the zero. And the idea is, in any business, there is at least one cost that is your biggest cost. And most people, either they take the default option, well, I gotta pay this, or they try to kind of bargain for 5% discount, 10% discount. And what's way more powerful is to try to figure out how do we get this huge expense to zero. And I'll give like the example of the Salsa school. If you have a dance school, your main expense, the rent. You gotta pay for a place to give the classes.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you can try to find the cheapest place, but it's not going to be the nicest place, so you don't want that. Or you can say, what is a great place that I can have for free?
And so zero.
Yeah, for zero. What I did is I went to there was two bars that were just opening. And I went to one of them and I said, I want to give salsa classes there. They said, yeah, that would be great.
Did you bring in the people? Yeah.
And I advertised. I said, well, I'm gonna bring people, they're gonna be dancing, and it's gonna be warm, they'll be sweating, they'll be thirsty, they want to drink.
The place is gonna be full and they're gonna drink, absolutely.
What happened is one of the places turned me down. They said, no, we're not actually a salsa kind of place. We are more Hispanic, like Spain. It's more like Spain than Latin America. And so we don't want your salsa classes. I said, okay. I went to the other place and they said, yes. What happened is I advertised my class. The first day of the class, I had 30. So it's after I had validated the first few students, okay? But I was looking for a place to settle in. So at that time, I had 30 people at this point that wanted the classes with me.
Wow.
And I went to the place that had agreed, and these guys didn't even show up to open the bar that night.
Wow.
So I'm at the door with 30
with all your students.
and the bar is closed because they forgot. So I went to the place that declined, and we walked through town. I got everybody. It's like a
pretending that nothing happened. No.
We went to this other place, and I knocked at I opened the door, and it's empty. And I'm like, hey, I said, I know you said no, but I got 30 people. Do you want them or not? If you don't want them, everybody goes home. And the guy was, I
have an empty
empty Spanish bar or full Latin bar. And he said, okay, let's do this. And after that, at the end of the night, he came up to me and he said, well, how about we do this like a couple times a week?
Wow, he was happy. He was happy.
Yeah, he was super happy. And so we ended up like I was giving classes 4 nights a week there, I think.
Wow. Yeah, and after the people can stay and drink and also practice what they learn. Yeah, we do exactly the same thing in London. Exactly. Yeah. We don't charge for the lessons. I teach when I can. Yeah, but we do it for fun. We're doing it for free, just to join the community and everything. We're not doing it. So we teach a little bit, and then we have a place, and then the owner of the place keep the drinks, and for us we can have our party. So
have the party. Yeah, that's
works for everyone. Yeah, but let's talk about Sebastian, about your business now, because one thing is become an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. Completely different ball game is become a tech entrepreneur. Yeah, this podcast that we're doing, 5 steps how to achieve your first million. 1 out of 5, probably 1 out of 6 people that they come to this podcast, they are tech entrepreneurs, right? So, which is said that technology is very people can make a lot of wealth with technology. That's what it seems. However, we know for a fact, because I invest in tech companies, that it's tough. Technology is very rewarding when it works, but to get that product market fit, to get to that million in sales,
in revenue, and then recurring revenue.
Exactly. You need to get your product market fit. You have to, exactly like you say, is know about what you want and what is in your head. It's about what the clients want to pay for it. So tell us about this journey, how you manage, and on top of that, it's really expensive to develop a product and everything. So how you handle all this pressure in your tech company? Of course, you have experience before in different business that kind of prepare you, which is, I think, is a big plus for you, because sometimes I'm in a meeting with VCs and we bring in some startup companies, and the venture capitalist is telling to the founders, call me in your next idea. And the founders are looking at me and say, I don't understand this guy, what he's trying to tell me. He said that he likes the product, he likes the thing, but he's telling me, call me in your next idea. And I'm telling them what he's trying to tell you is that you're not an entrepreneur yet. He's only put the money in entrepreneurs and you're not there yet. But Harry, how come I'm not there? I got my products. And no, you haven't. You had to fail badly. So when second time he speak with you a type of language, you can answer those questions and you can articulate, and he can see it in your eyes that you have the ability to listen to your clients, the ability to be coachable, the ability to be flexible, the ability to don't be stubborn, the ability, a lot of abilities that a good entrepreneur needs to have. So tell us, how have been your journey as a tech entrepreneur? You don't have to tell me that has been the most difficult business that you ever been. Yeah, salsa classes is salsa lesson business, nothing. It's a piece of cake compared with what you have your hands now. So tell us, how was your journey, and what was the best idea or the best thing that you did that helped you to get quickly, fast the product market fit, which is, I think, the biggest challenge that of tech company has out there.
Okay, so a couple of things. I totally agree with you. This is a different ball game.
Absolutely.
What's interesting is your first time always seems super hard. So starting the salsa school felt super hard. It's just that as you grow, the hurdles also grow. So they are like way bigger than the old ones.
Yeah.
So
you learn the skill, yeah?
Yeah, you learn the skill, and so I do martial arts. And when I took the first classes, it's like, yeah, you have. I was doing one-on-one classes. It's like, yeah, you do the thing. And then when you go, I went to the first time to the first belt exam, and it's a bunch of people, and they have you fight like 2-on-1. So there's two people against you.
Oh my
And
God.
I had never sparred with other people before. So I'm like,
Oh.
and then once you get like slapped in the face a couple of times, that's when you realize, okay, this is serious. Let's focus. So I would say that would be the difference between tech and all the businesses I've had before, which are in different fields. Uh, a couple of things that I did well, and a couple of things that I did not, and I learned from not doing them well. Before this startup, I was lucky enough that 10 years ago, I started another startup with one of my best friends. And so we made a few mistakes there that I learned from. So these were the early mistakes. When we started this with my good friend, we had the right product solving the right problem at the right time in the market. So we were in the French market, the first tool that enabled you to create sales funnels and sell online courses that was in France. Perfect timing, right when people wanted to sell e-learning content. So in the first year, we did 1 million. Like the first million in the first year of that business, like right away.
Very good.
However, this business is not around. So there must be like a story of what happened there, right? So the mistakes that we did there, one of the mistakes was that we were doing this like I was a co-founder, but I also had my other like main business. And you cannot really do tech as a side project.
Absolutely, it's too much.
And we also had like people working in marketing that were split between my existing business and this new tech business. And I think like from this period, I stopped hiring people part-time, period. Because when you have someone working on two businesses at the same time, they're not focused. Their mind is not there. When they're working for you, they're thinking about the other person. When they're working with the other person, they're thinking about their vacation. They're never thinking about that doesn't work.
Productivity goes.
Exactly. Productivity is low, is so much lower. So that was one mistake. The other mistake is we we hired too fast, and since we were trying to save some money, we hired like cheaper contractors. And then my co-founder was very skilled, like a really good engineer, but he had more work because now you have like 6 people writing bad code and you have to turn that into good code.
To check all of them, yeah.
Yeah. And so we made a few of those mistakes at the time. And I think the biggest one, which I'll say what happened and then I'll say how one of my mentors phrased the solution to that. What happened is we were struggling. We had to sue the bank because the bank did not understand software business like ours at the time. So
Wow.
they froze $500,000
Wow.
of the money we had on our accounts.
Very
And
common.
this was also money that we needed to pay out the affiliates and everything. So
Yeah.
we sued the bank and we won, which is great.
Wow, you won.
We won.
You won to a bank?
Yes.
Wow.
France had
should be in the French newspaper.
And in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Yes. There is a way in France that you can use a kind of like arbitrage, like business arbitrage, to solve these kind of problems really fast because you cannot like sit on the $500,000 for 2 years. You have to
absolutely against the bank. Yeah.
And so what happened is we were inside of all of that trouble, and then one competitor showed up on the market, right? On the heel of that. And their price was maybe 15-20% cheaper than ours. The founder was someone that was as well known as me in the market, but the difference was in the mindset. So they were full-time on this, they went all in on this. And also at the time, my co-founder kind of lost the appetite. So he said, well, we should just fold. These people out there, they have a better price, whatever. And I learned a lot from this because if you look at these guys' prices now, they are way more expensive than the price we had.
It's absolutely.
It was not about the price.
Yes, of course, no.
Other competitors have shown up in the last maybe 5 years that are again way bigger. So there was still space in the market because
for everybody, yeah.
And grew. Like we were there before ClickFunnels, for instance, and ClickFunnels is like a 9-figure company now.
Wow.
And it could have been, right?
Amazing.
And then one of my mentors, he summarized this like this. He's a guy that ran a family office investing in tech businesses. Mm-hmm. And he said, amongst all the businesses that he had invested in that have failed, he said, none of them have failed because the technology was outdated or competitors ate their lunch. All of them have failed because of the founder's psychology.
100%.
Yeah, and that was huge. I think for when you're in tech, what's hard in tech, and one of the mistakes that I made in this business that I would share for people not to make is I see now, so now I'm not this single founder of the business. I have co-founders and they are technically way more advanced than me. For instance, my co-founder Vladimir, he's worked in one of the really big video editing software companies. He has this deep technical experience, and the difference in quality and speed in working with someone that's at that level versus trying to like save money by doing it yourself or hiring a contractor or hiring an agency, which in my experience never works, is incredible. So I could have grown even faster with OneTake if I had started my thinking there instead of slowly getting there. So yeah, I would say one of the so the challenge for me, I think for most people that want to get in tech is you cannot do that as a side business. A lot of influencers want to do this. Like I have my information.
Yeah, some people have the job and then they're building the tech company at the same time.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
A real tech company.
It doesn't work. When you are in tech, I agree 100% with you, Sebastian. When you are in tech, you have to take it. You need to put all in because it's aggressive. Competitor shows up. It's very dynamic. There is a lot of money for these type of things, and somebody gets to find your competitor and give them a lot of money, and in a month they can be next to you, and you are, what this guy? What is this guy that just is on my back?
Exactly.
I didn't even know that it existed, right? But I think that, Sebastian, you get it right 100%. The mindset of the entrepreneur, or the founder, or the tech founder is everything. And I think that I agree with your colleague, that in order to succeed in technology, and I think, and I quote, yeah, there is a misconception that people think that to be successful in the tech space, you have to be a developer. They see Steve Jobs, they see Bill Gates, they see the guys from Google, right? And they have become millionaires, right? The world software developers, and everybody say, well, you know what? In order to become a multi-millionaire in the tech space, you have to be a developer. Well, no, in this interview, all the tech millionaires that I interviewed, that they have some of them 2-3 exits. None of them so far has been software developer. Actually, they are marketing, salespeople, and entrepreneurs. These are the people that succeed in tech. You know what? You can see Jeff Bezos, also, the guy from Amazon, is someone that understands business more than actually tech. He can write code and do a little bit. So, and this is the reality. The reality is that whoever is winning in technology at the moment is, I mean, nothing wrong about software developer, but as long as the software developer understand how business work, understand that they have to listen to the customer, understand, like you so humble, Sebastian, has shared with us, okay, this was my mistake, this is what my mistake, this is my mistake. And you know what I mean? It's very humble of you. You had several companies. You clearly a great entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur. You have made millions of euros, yeah, in different businesses, clearly, and yet you're sharing, okay, this is my mistake, guys, don't do this, don't do that. And to become an entrepreneur is like a skill. The more you practice, the better you become, right? Nobody learn how to become an entrepreneur. It's like driving a car, or swimming. If you take a book about driving a car, you have to drive that car, and the more you drive it, the better you become. And if you are humble enough to accept that you make a mistake and how you can improve in the next one, this is how you succeed in as an entrepreneur. I'm confident that you're gonna make a lot of millions in your video. Actually, tell us about your company. Tell us about the software, what it does. So what happened? People create their own social media content with that software, and it posted, and we don't have to do anything.
Yeah, that's the
Tell us
idea.
what
Let
it
me
does.
explain why and how. So the business I had after the whole Salsa deal and until before OneTake for 15 years, so from 2010 to for 12 years, 2022, I ran the Free Entrepreneurs Movement, and we coached 300,000 entrepreneurs in 41 countries in starting and growing their business.
Wow.
And as I was running those coaching programs, what I noticed two things. I was spending a ton of time editing my own videos for online classes, coaching recordings, and also like all the marketing content around my books and my classes, my seminars. And B, I noticed that the main thing that was stopping our clients from being successful is the gap between having an idea of how they want to share their expertise and making it real so they can actually share it online.
Exactly.
Everything else had been solved. Like if you have the recordings of your course, to upload that to a website to host the online course for you, like there's 1,000 tools that will do this for you. There's 1,000 tools that enable you to have like one button to buy the thing. Nobody had made a tool where you could just record your content as you are and get a great result.
Wow.
So I figured, well, that is the number one thing that's like holding these people back. And I had this vision. You mentioned earlier the difference between like a lot of successful tech entrepreneurs they might not be coding the software themselves, even though I'm an entrepreneur, an engineer by training. I'm not writing the code for OneTake. I understand it. I don't write it. But it's because I had the vision, because I understood the customer, because I was the customer. And I said, what would you want as a customer? Is you want something that looks professional, helps you reach more people, if possible, in multiple languages, but you don't want to spend like 10 hours to edit a 10-minute YouTube video. And so that's where the concept of OneTake AI came from. So what OneTake does is you just record yourself. Could be just a voice recording if you don't want to show your face, or it could be with a webcam or a Zoom recording. You just record yourself as you are. And then the AI takes that, and without you having to do anything, it removes the mistakes, the stutters, the awkward silences. It gets the sound to a professional level of quality, even if you had like background noise, dogs barking, kids playing behind you. It just gets that. It adds like titles of the main points you're saying. It composes custom background music to fit the theme of your video. And finally, it also translates the video in the language of the viewer. So if somebody comes to the website and they're Spanish, they will hear you speak Spanish, and it will also resync your face so that it looks like you are speaking Spanish. And so that's what OneTake does. So
I love the name. The name is amazing. Good name. OneTake, yeah.
OneTake. So you just record yourself. You don't have to like self-censor. You just record in OneTake. And if people want to try it, instead of going to our main website that has all the like subscription pricing on like www.onetake.ai, we have a new version, a new page where if you type in try.onetake.ai, on that page, without a credit card or anything, you can just upload any video you already have, or just record yourself and see what the AI does with your video and your audio. Without having to like create a paid account. So you can try free on.
That's amazing, Sebastian. Amazing. And I wish you all the best in your tech company. I think that there is a big need because of that. I mean, there is we more and more the online learning or the e-learning is getting a lot of market share, and it's going to be more and more in the future. So the more that the content creators can create those videos in a more attractive and compelling way to the audience. Look at me, look at my background. You know, you look like you are in the CNN, right? So the more you can make compelling videos to your audience with more quality, then people are more likely to consume your content.
That's true.
And again, what we discussed at the beginning, if you, whatever business you are, the way of doing it now is exactly like Sebastian said. You start to create that content, and when you create that content, you will have a community. And you know what happened with my salsa? That would be a good analogy for the listeners. You know, I started to, as a hobby, yeah, my girlfriend said, she doesn't want to go and dance salsa. I said, well, you don't want to go and dance salsa? I'll do the party at home. Back then, you know, we have a cinema in the building that we were living. So, okay, I do a party in the cinema. I invite my friends. So guess what happened? I took a speaker. I started to play Cuban salsa, and all my friends started to come and dance salsa, yeah. And then I put an Instagram account, yeah, and the Instagram account had like 20 followers, 30 followers. Obviously, we were 20 people there, so the only 20 followers that we have is the 2 people that went to the small parties, yeah. And we were doing, and then one day, one friend of arrived to the party. His name was Gianni, and Gianni said, Harry, you know what? Let's do the Buena Vista London Club band. Cuban band. I said, what? Yeah, we're gonna bring one friends. I'm gonna play here. So you play your music, and then we do the band. And the and what happened is that when the band came, we have more followers. So what happened is the quality of the content increased, and that's why the followers.
Audience, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so the more quality you have creating the content, the more the more bigger you grow the community. So thank you so much, Sebastian, for this amazing podcast, and for all of you listening. See you in our next episode of Unstoppable: How Brave Entrepreneurs like Sebastian break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.